Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. What a week that was. So, we got the election behind us. Good news. A quick note, if you don't agree with my political views, you don't have to announce that. You can just leave. This is a charity. This is me helping you. You don't want to be here, that's fine. With that out of the way, let's talk about training in a pandemic. So, Europe is back in lockdown essentially. The way things are going in the US, we might be back in lockdown, who knows, right? So the question is, what do you do with this? And it's really unfortunate and it sucks. So big preamble. Lockdowns suck. There's nothing fun about them, right? That's no two opinions about it. So especially people, let's say in the UK or in Germany or whatever, who had a little bit of gym time and now boom, they're being hit, right? So it's awful. So, first of all, don't stop. Look, this pandemic is going to be with us for another year, most likely, all right? It's going to be stop and go for a while. So, yes, look, I own a gym. Like, trust me, I'm not a fan of lockdowns, right? So, the question is, what do we do with this? So, those of you that have proper home gyms, more power to you. But the ones like us, who live in small apartments, only have bands and dumbbells, how can you maintain a physique or how can you make progress during lockdown, okay? So rule number one is, pick your battles. Like being angry on Facebook about like politicians or doctors is not gonna get you jacked, okay? So stop doing that. It's not gonna help you. Like if you make angry posts, how like there's like a conspiracy behind you so you don't get big biceps, that's hocus pocus. So a pandemic, like a lockdown, and trust me, lockdowns suck, but being sick is much worse, because I've been both, and I take the lockdown any day. So what do you do with this now? Okay, so the good news is, during the lockdown, you can train more often, because you don't have to book your gym spots, right? So, you go out on the internet, it's always the same, like, do some squats and some lunges and push-ups, and that's all hocus pocus. Let's use this intelligently. So the first thing you can do, you can look at your physique and see, do I have imbalances? For instance, is my pushing way better than my pulling? If that's the case, you should shift, toward like rows and pull downs on a 2-to-1 base at least, right? Or what a lot of people find actually, I'm talking to clients, is that unilaterally there's a big strength discrepancy, especially with legs. Because if we're really honest, at least dudes, we don't like to do unilateral leg stuff. We don't like step-ups or lunges, any of that stuff, right? We don't do that. We load up the leg press, we load up the squat, the hack squat, and then we go, right? But the thing is that the strong leg will do 80% of the work, and you won't even notice. So the pandemic is a good time to do, to reach in and see like, how many lunges can I do with this weight on that foot? And you'll be surprised how much weaker the other one is, right? So that could be corrected. Same with arms, like pressing or so, barbell or machines, it's quite uneven. So that's one. And then you can perfect certain things. So let's say you haven't really been able to develop your chest. You're like, well, what's going on, And then all of a sudden you realize that all you've ever done is this. So now, and I'm going to make a longer video about this, I'm going to make a video about no weight activation exercises, right? So like for my pecs, I do this. And the better I'm able to squeeze this and to feel this, right, of my biceps, I curl, I rotate, and I really make it hurt. The better I get at this, the more gains I will make. And that goes for every muscle. So activation is huge, right? That's why my old coach, may he rest in peace, had me pose in between sets when I was a much younger bodybuilder, right? And it's like, oh, holy shit, this is what my lats do. Now I can actually do it. So that's one thing, activation. Then there's intention. Intention is also really important because, so I got the activation down, and now I'm going my whatever dumbbell press or so, but I'm doing this. So now the intention was actually the front delt and not the pec. So now that I have time in my home gym and nobody's breathing down my neck, I can actually work on which muscle do I intend to use and how do I maximize that, going forward. And needless to say, if I can do this with limited equipment, then when gyms will reopen, I will be even better at that. So that's one thing. And then there's setup. Setup is something that everybody slouches. So you go to the gym and whatever, go to the lat pull down, sit down, It's like, no, you sit down, you tighten the abs, you bring your shoulder blades together, and now you do this. So in my home gym, let's say, I hook a band. Only do this if you have a really stable hook. And I make sure my setup is perfect, and then I pull down, right? So that's that. And then the last one is stability, meaning my shoulder blades for upper body exercises always need to be pulled together and back down. So the moment I lose that, my set's gone. For anything leg related, it would be the hips, right? So in summary, during a lockdown, which may or may not happen, you can use it wisely. You can either complain and say there's a conspiracy and everybody's against you and you're gonna look like a freaking crybaby that failed special ed, or you can simply say, all right, turns out my right leg is a lot weaker. So I'm gonna give it an extra 15 sets of lunges every week. Or you can say, you know what? I didn't even know what my medial delt does. So now, putting the hands behind, I'm pushing my thumbs back and I'm squeezing, and like, oh yeah. So all of a sudden my side raises are much better, right? Or you realize, holy cow, my intention for biceps was off. I was always using my front delt, that's why my biceps never grew. Or I lost my stability, same idea. So now I'm correcting all this. You can make actually some really decent gains at home. I mean, I trained from when I got healthy, which was like sort of May until September, with just bands, and I got my physique almost back to where it needed to be. So if you follow those parameters, you can also download the app. There's some free home workouts as well. Apple will release it come Wednesday. You're gonna be in much better shape. You're gonna be a much better bodybuilder, and you're gonna have used the lockdown productively, as opposed to be like, the deep state is against me. Okay, Maik out.